Welcome back to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. Dan, you can officially call this a streak, my friend. I don't know who's hotter, the X-Man or Cal, but can I refer to myself in third person, I guess, at this point?
Kenny Powers, sure.
2 weeks, hey, I ain't going to rehab yet. Let me just say that. Yet. This is back-to-back one and done, Dan.
Yeah.
JT Poston last week at the John Deere.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Man. Somebody may have screwed up in the sheet in our list. Somebody may have not made an update. However, the spoken word is, that's kind of the law around here. And I clearly said, I've been saving him. I've been saving X-Man. I'm gonna run him at East Lake. No, I'm not. I'm playing him at the Scottish Open. I'm riding a hot hand. And right now, depending on how you want to look at it, technically speaking, he's won the past 3 events that he has played as a professional golfer. Now, the one earlier in the week, which was the Pro-Am, it was 2 days. It was like a miniature live event. It wasn't 3 rounds. It was only 2 rounds. But I mean, he still won it, right? And he's a professional golfer. So call it 2.5. I think you can go ahead and call it 3. And he said today in his when he was talking to Amanda, he said today was the worst I played all week. I wouldn't necessarily argue with that statement, but is this the new Scottie Scheffler? And do we see the potential for him being Xander Schauffele to take the lead as the front runner for PGA Player of the Year?
If he wins this week, yeah, 100%. I mean, the show has been on fire. So I'll go back one further, and then I actually took Xander the week before you took JT Poston. So we're actually 3 for 3 with our one and dones.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
it's definitely paying dividends. So I did put a little side cash on Xander as well. The odds weren't particularly great, but did get a little scratch there from that one. So it was good to see. And I think what I was thinking about as I was watching, as I was kind of so I think after 7, because 17 and 18 he didn't play well all week. Obviously the hardest 2 holes on the golf course, but when kind of as he was playing through 17, I mean, I think he's got a 2-stroke lead, and it's like, well, it's all but yours to fuck up, buddy. Right? I mean, if you just hold it together, I mean, to the point that on the 18th tee box he pulls an iron, right, and he just chunks one out there about 220, whatever it was, and plays it safe. Hits one. No, I don't know if anybody hit the green on 18 from their approach all day, maybe all week. I don't know. I there was some stat. I didn't write it down, but as I was listening, but it was like there was like 1 birdie there the whole. I don't know. It may not have been that hole, but there was 1 hole where there's 1 birdie the whole tournament, and I probably screwed that all the way up. Anyway, you know the point that I'm trying to make, and he did exactly what he needed to do, man. And he gets up there, hits it greenside, hits a great chip, goes up, misses the putt, no big deal. You got a little cushion, makes the bogey putt, and catch Amanda greenside, and give her the rundown about how shitty you played today. And it was just a ho hum.
Very mature way to win, right? Just showing that he's been out there, he's not going to go for it, not going to make a mistake. He knew he had some room, and hey, why do that? Why not? I mean, why not play it safe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if Xander would have been playing, I'm sorry, if Spieth would have been playing with Xander, it might have benefited him today, because I don't know if he hit a fairway on the back 9 today, and he was in pretty good shape. I think he came in at like 4 or 5 under, and I don't know, he was 2 back, and wasn't in horrible shape, man. But boy, did he miss things to the right today. And he actually got a couple of breaks, what I would consider breaks. It could have been worse lies. So I think he was probably lucky to get out of there with with a T10 for the tournament. And the fact that, I don't know, he chipped in 11 times greenside. It wasn't that many, but he chipped in greenside a lot. So, typically when I'm thinking about Spieth, at least I'm thinking about, the guys making some just hellacious putts that somebody else isn't going to make. He took the putter out of his hand a lot for this tournament. So
Yeah.
yeah, more so than normal. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. We'll get into it a little bit later when we talk about the Open and who our picks are there. I know I've been saving this guy. I've been saving a guy for the Open, and now after watching him this week, I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to rethink that? I probably don't. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Who else did we?
Tommy Fleetwood. We were big on Fleetwood, weren't we? Yeah.
Tony Fleetwood, man. Tony finishes at what does he finish the tournament at 4 under? Yeah, I thought he looked good. I wasn't dissatisfied. I mean, I thought DraftKings looked good. If you had him at a T5 or better, that was a decent payout. So there you go. Yeah, and I mean another good one going into next week, right? I mean, it could be a thing. Could be a thing.
Fitzpatrick played well, T6 as well. He was my one and done. You made a bunch of ground on me, but at least I came in T6. Cam Smith, a great tournament there. Hey, no shocker, but we weren't sure how he was going to do in these two events going into this, but looks like he's regaining some confidence there.
Cam Smith, here's what I would say. After the 75 on Friday, I'm surprised to see that he finished at T10. He did not have, I mean, obviously Friday wasn't a good day. He bookends that Friday round with a pair of 68s and then finishes it up with a 67. So yeah, I mean, looks pretty good.
Yeah. The
weekend definitely changed my outlook on, what I might do with Cam Smith, leading into the Open. So here, I can't believe you haven't mentioned this guy yet.
Okay.
But I also can believe that you haven't mentioned it because he didn't say much. He doesn't say much. You may think of him, he's like ice. He's ice. Nice. Shoots a pair of 70s Thursday and Friday. The weekend 69 and 67. So progressively got better. After what I thought was kind of a pretty benign Thursday and Friday. But Patrick Cantlay, man, that's I don't know what his ownership was. We could probably look and see. We probably don't need to. It makes no difference. But he just kept getting better and better. And you didn't see him. You didn't hear from him. I mean, I guess if you were up early, you could have, you saw a little bit, but boy, they sure don't want to show you much golf. I can tell you that when it's on. They don't want to do that. And number two, they want to, you got to bounce your ass between so many channels. You got to go to Peacock. You got to go to ESPN. You got to go to whatever your cable or streaming provider. I mean, holy shit, man. It's like, can you just put it on? Just give me one spot. Give me one spot. Maybe it's out there and I don't know about it yet. If it is, we're open to we'll take on sponsors.
Cantlay is one of those guys where it was last year he started really kind of picking up steam at Memorial and kind of went right into the playoff season. And as sleepy as he is, maybe he's just a second half of the year kind of guy,
Very well could be. I'm a second half kind of show kind of guy. So I mean I could see where that could be a play. So congrats to Kurt Kitayama, if I didn't mention this already, Brandon Wu and Jamie Donaldson. So they were the 3 players that finished in the top 10 that didn't have a seat, didn't have a ticket to play in the Open. They do now. I felt bad for Smalley, man, because he was going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he missed the putt on 18 that kind of ejected him, but at least he put himself in the position to be there. So I don't know, silver lining, I guess. I'll be positive for him because I'm sure he's probably down on himself. What else? So let's finish up kind of some golf talk. I got to talk a little tennis. Holy shit.
Hold on a second.
Has this been a weekend? But let's finish up golf. Yeah.
So some notables on the other side of the fence. I mean, Jon Rahm +5. It's a little rough, man.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What about JT +10 missing the cut? What about Scottie Scheffler missing the cut? I mean, there are some notables, buddy. Some notables that missed the cut.
Yeah. Sam Burns +8.
Yeah, Sam Burns. Hey, talk about being glad I didn't pick that guy as my one and done. Who else? Billy Horschel, Bobby Mack,
Morikawa,
Collin Morikawa, Will Zalatoris, Mark Leishman,
Hovland.
Viktor Hovland,
Him.
Jason Coe. I mean, there's a lot of people. And when we bounce over to our friends at Fantasy National and take a look at pricing, I don't know if I'm Xander Schauffele, I'm probably a little pissed off. I mean, they're not looking at it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll send him a screenshot later and see what he says. But I'm just looking at it too. And I'm like going like, what does Xander got to do? Like when's he going to get the rotation? I mean, Rahm ain't getting the rotation. It wouldn't surprise me to see Rahm miss the cut next week.
Interesting.
Wouldn't surprise
you. Do you think Rahm and JT missed the cut on purpose so they could play like all weekend with Tiger?
JT for sure. I don't know if Rahm got an invitation, but JT definitely missed it. You know, here's what I do think, and I was kidding about the Rahm thing too. Well, maybe not, but I don't know that this here. Okay, if they played well, and you know, if you're top 25 of the world and you played well, and you missed the cut. Well, you couldn't have done that if you played well in your top 25, and I don't know that that's changing my attitude. But like a Kurt Kitayama, like I may have changed my outlook on Kurt Kitayama coming into this thing, right? I mean, because he's going to be extreme. You know, I think he's in the $6,000 range. So I mean, that's somebody I'm probably going to look to. Terrell Hatton, right? Somebody like a Terrell Hatton that had. I don't, you know, he finished T24. He shoots 68, 70, 72, 70. I saw enough out of him that I'm like, okay, probably. Brendan Grace, isn't he like the face of Live right now? And shoots 69, 72, 67, and 72. So, you know, the Friday and Sunday weren't great, but 69, 67. I mean, you kind of got around some things. I mean, Friday he was into the wind, you know, I mean, things kind of picked up there. So maybe Jordan Smith, who's got his tickets punched for the Open. I mean, that guy did you catch this at all when they would say Jordan Smith and Jordan Smith and Jordan Smith and every time I was like, what, who, huh? Did they, oh no, there is a Jordan Smith. I mean, it's just, I'm so used to hearing Jordan Spieth. I was like, what? I'm like, man, he's gained some weight, and he doesn't have that funky little practice routine that he's got. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, it's not different guy. I don't. What do we do with somebody like Gary Woodland? Okay, so here's a good compare, and I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of us, but let's look at T30 and T36. So they're right beside each other. Finished +1 and +2. Gary Woodland and Keith Mitchell. Gary Woodland opens with a 64, 72, 72, 73. Keith Mitchell opens with 73, 70, 73, 66. Now, I understand the math. I mean, one finished one stroke better than the other, but somebody opens with and then kind of stumbles into the weekend. One of them stumbles into the tournament and closes out with a 66.
Yeah, it's sick.
So it's like, I mean, those are guys that I'm like, I think you gotta get them in somewhere. I mean, I think those guys have to be in somewhere for the Open.
100%. Both of them playing well. Yep.
What else we have on the Scott? Hey, how much fun is this?
I love it.
I mean, I found myself just inadvertently waking up at like 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, shit, I guess I'll go downstairs and have a cup of coffee. Maybe a little bourbon in it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just have a little, maybe I have a little bourbon. Let's put some golf on. And I'm loving this, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm loving that you get, I mean, it's golf all day, baby. And it's the field. The field was fantastic. We saw a few players pop that, you know, we didn't talk about. We definitely didn't talk about Tringali. Rafa. We didn't talk about him, which he probably doesn't want anybody talking about him after today. But yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's a great 2 weeks. I love the folks that are showing up, the talent. But I did make some notes, and it's some of those top teners that are going to be probably playing in this next year. I don't know if they're going to get a lot of looks from me. Just saying. Next year at the Scottish Open.
Yeah.
They may get some looks at the Open Championship. Okay, so
hold on,
what
real
else?
quick. Another winning
Yeah.
entry from us. Another 5-1. 5-1. We got 5 of 6 through in our lineup.
Ooh, was that Damon? Was it Damon
let us down.
I know. Yeah, he definitely did that one. Man, if we could, and there were several we could have covered on the Damon side, but yeah, Joey D, he probably wanted to hurry up and get done on Friday, thinking that Tiger may invite him out too. But what he doesn't realize is probably the same thing that Greg doesn't realize is when JT's around, it's party of two. Hey, table for two, please. There'll be JT and I, and that's Tiger and JT. Like they ain't, he ain't letting nobody is getting in on any of that bro fest that JT's got going on there.
All right, I got a question for you. All right, Brooks is on live, right? Brooks is on live. What if, there's a couple different scenarios. Does Nike pull away from any of the live guys?
Well, I think there's two aspects. I think if you're talking about like a moral compass, and they absolutely not. I don't think they give a shit about the moral compass.
Okay. All right. Well,
however, hold on. However, if it does provide an out in a contract with somebody, that they could remove themselves from a sponsorship with a player like Brooks, which I would imagine has a pretty hefty price tag.
Sure.
How many up and comers or non-existent or non-current Nike players could you go and get with a Brooks price tag? And maybe that's where you were going, but it's like, so the highest guy that Nike probably has on the payroll is probably Rory McIlory.
Sure.
I would, well, I'm not even talking about Tiger. He's got his own shit. He's in a whole different spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just the swoosh,
Right.
the swoosh.
Yeah.
It's got to be Rory McIlory. Has to be. If not, he needs a new agent. Call me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to start to pick up some individuals, right, then I think that, and I think that's going to be, and it is my opinion. I agree with the opinion of other people that are talking about it, or opinions that other people are talking about, is that the challenge is going to be creating the new superstars.
Yeah.
And not even superstars, right? But just stars.
Where I was going was this whole Tiger connection. So if they drop Brooks, do they pick up JT?
No.
Would Nike have dropped JT after his incident in Hawaii?
They hadn't dropped Tiger yet.
I think Nike and JT could be something in the next year or two.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that so it's interesting. So I told you I played in the 100-hole hike a few weeks ago, and there were a lot of influencers, personalities, and there were a couple of brands there. And you got to be careful how I say this. I didn't get any insight. This is not Martha Stewart shit. I got no insider information. But we were talking about the NLU guys were there. We were talking to them. So anyway, so there was a lot of conversation around like brands and, hey, I want to put my logo here. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you're going to use my shirt, my logo is going to go there because it's my shirt, and we'll put your logo somewhere else. So, and a lot of brands, I mean, they want it to be like front and center, man. I mean, it's like, no. We'll put your logo somewhere else, but I'm the one. Yeah. Thanks for the shirt, and yes, I'm going to buy your shirt because I'm not a shirt maker, right? I just need shit to sell. But then some brands are like, no. My logo is going right here on the left chest placard, and that's it. It's like, well, right, but that's where mine needs to go, and it's like, well, yeah, well, then we can't do business. So I know that's maybe not the best example, but I think that there are a lot of brands that are not big name, big box. It's not the Walmarts or the whoever's, right? I mean, the Home Depots of the world. It's the smaller boutique brands that I think JT's kind of going to gravitate towards, because I think I think there's cash involved. I think there's money involved, but I also think that there's, it's kind of like, well, why would I stay on the PGA Tour instead of going to the Live Tour? And I'm doing it for the legacy. I'm doing it for the the country club vibe, if you will. I'm doing it for the prestige, not just for the money. And I think that some of these guys, like a JT, and I think he's wearing Grayson right now, he's probably got stock in Grayson. That was given to him, right? Because I don't know that Grayson, I don't know who they're backed by and who funds them and all that shit, but I don't know that they have the money to be able to afford a JT. They definitely don't have the funds to do the things that Ralph Lauren was doing.
Sure.
That I would think. I haven't seen their finances, but that would be my guesstimate. So it's like, hey, yeah, we're going to give you some scratch and we're going to give you some gear. But really what we're going to give you is we're going to give you, and they're showing, because the days, how many clubhouses have you gone into and it's like, shit, I ain't buying that shirt. It's like this big boxy ass, I mean, it's like, look at the golfers of the 70s and look at the golfers of today. It's like, you're not outfitting, the fat white guy anymore.
That's right.
In some cases you are. I'm not that skinny, but in a lot of cases you're outfitting athletes, right? And I mean, things are changing. So I definitely, yes, I know where you're going. I just don't know that. I don't think it's going to be a thing, because I don't think the money if the money matters, just go to fucking Live. Why do you need to let somebody dictate what you're wearing?
Good point. All right, what else are we missing?
As far as the tournament goes, nothing. I want to talk some tennis before we get into, and I know it's not a tennis show.
No,
I guess we could call it balls and bourbon. I don't know. Can we say that?
Aces and bourbon.
In the woke ooh, no, they'll think we're on DJ's team with Liv, but it could be a thing. Could be aces and alcohol, but then it'd be like then it just turn into like alcohol asses or something. So
yeah,
I don't know how that's gonna go. Okay, so that may have been the best tennis match that I've ever watched in my lifetime. And not for the purposes of the actual tennis.
I know, right? He's a spectacle.
I mean, the only thing, so if Kyrios, right? Kyrios. If Kyrios were a golfer, who would he be?
Tony Finau. I thought about this.
Do you want to explain that? Because I've got two and I'm torn between the two.
Okay. So I think that Kyrios is one of the most talented tennis players out there, but his head gets in the way. And I think that Tony Finau, like pound for pound, is one of the most talented golfers out there, but for some reason just can't ever get like over the finish line.
Tony Finau is cool. Like Tony Finau doesn't seem like a dick to me. I don't know. I mean, he had the not the scandal, but the thing where the guy was backing him and lawsuits and whatever, that financial stuff out of the way. I mean, Tony seems like a guy that if I ever bump into him at Silverleaf, I'm going to be like, hey man, you don't want to play around a golf with me because I suck, but let's get a beer and let's go get a beer and just give me a 5-minute, drink half a beer and then you can get the fuck out of all right, I'm done with you. Okay, so here's who I was thinking.
Okay.
Because there was nothing about Kyrios that I thought was cool. Nothing about him. I mean, he thinks he's really cool.
He doesn't know how he looks on TV.
Oh yeah. So and I look ridiculous too. Trust me. I know this. I realize it. But he thinks he looks really cool. So I'm torn. Is it Terrell Hatton?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Grayson Murray? And the reason is I think it's a combination of both, because the temper isn't quite, this is going to sound crazy. The temper isn't quite hot enough for Terrell Hatton, but the talent is so much better than Grayson Murray.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if
Terrell and Grayson had a baby, if they were morphed into a tennis player, I think that's what you would get. I think you get Kyrios.
I think you're onto something. I
mean, listen, that dude was so ridiculous, man. Yeah. I mean,
it's a spectacle.
And I'm like, who is he yelling at?
I don't know.
I'm looking at the Korean and I'm like, who is he yelling at? She's like, I have no idea who he's yelling at. I'm like, I know. It's like, is he yelling at the umpire? Is he yelling at
Djokovic?
At a drunk fan? Is he yelling at Djokovic? And is he yelling at his camp that's kind of perched up back here? And I did see that there were multiple things that he was yelling. He was yelling because he wanted them to make more noise. He was yelling because there was a drunk lady there that was pestering or hounding him, I guess. I mean, it's probably somebody that you gave the old water bottle treatment to. I mean, she's probably got a reason to be pissed off and hounding him. I mean, could have roofied her. Who knows? I mean, this guy has a checkered history.
Yeah, he does.
And then we make it to, I think we're in the third set. And then Djokovic starts it. The Joker starts getting. I know. I'm like, these guys could literally go at each other with rackets.
They could.
I couldn't believe that. I mean, it's like he made like McEnroe look. McEnroe just did it differently, right? I mean, McEnroe was frustrated and he was banging it on the ground. If you don't know it, you should go back and watch some of the old clips. But this guy was like talking into the, like, I don't even know who or what he was talking to, but I'm glad that I'm happy to see Joker win that championship. Yeah. And he kind of played him, man, like all the way through until they got to the playoff. And then like, he didn't really have a chance.
No,
he didn't have a chance.
No. And I don't know who he's yelling at the whole time. I was doing the same thing. Like, who is he yelling at? And then at the end, when the match is over, they're pals.
He's like hugging it out, kissing it out. It's like you and me after a big drunk fest.
It's just like they're just joking around, having a good time. It's like nothing happened, It's like, well, this is strange, but yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah,
I didn't take anything that he was doing as joking. At times, I was scared.
Yeah,
and I was, I don't know, 700 miles away.
There are definitely some red flags there.
It's
like, there's that guy is going to need a background check to get a tennis racket in the US. That's for sure.
Oh, crazy. But I did think it was a very equally matched match.
Yeah, it was fun.
I thought it was good, man.
He's talented. He is talented. Yeah.
I mean, we were setting. We actually took Dixie up to the dog park there towards the end of the third, and then watched the fourth, and then the playoff. And maybe we may have had a couple drinks. Just saying. I mean, why wouldn't you? We may have already had a couple drinks before we got there. I mean, I don't know. Why wouldn't you? It's breakfast at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And like we were both looking at each other, like we were like, holy shit, whoa. I mean, but it was and it's like, well, it was kind of like the golf tournament today. It's just no. So, somebody is just going to put somebody in a pressure position and they're going to screw up. Yeah. And the first one to screw up is going to lose. And he did it in the playoff, right? I mean, he double faulted, and after he double faulted, there you go. It's then he just kind of put the accelerator down.
Off to the races.
What else we got, man?
I think we take a break, come back, and let's get over to the Open, right? What do you think?
I'll need a refill, and while we're gone, cheers. And we're back. We've got a refill. Dan, today, yes, I may be sipping on a little Lagavulin 16-year Scotch.
Nice.
It's got a nice smoke. It's got a nice peat. Probably going to finish this Negroni first. I can't lie. But I don't know. We'll get into the Scotch. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I make it through the end of this thing. I don't know. We'll see. So, hey, for those of you that are listening, we're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to be joined by John Tattersall a little later this week. John's he's not a local guy, but he's definitely a Euro dude. So we'll get some takes from a coach on who he likes for the Open. And the reason we're doing this a little bit different is, Dan, you can disagree with me if you want to, but I think one of the key things for the Open this week, and we saw it a little bit at the Scottish Open, Thursday morning, no problem. Thursday afternoon, got a little breezy. Friday, got a little breezy. So these AM PM waves that are going to be set and established for Thursday and Friday's rounds, I think that we're going to need to see when the tee times are. And I don't usually do this. I don't think you do either. I usually don't stack morning and afternoon wave players. I usually kind of go to the players that I like and who I think's got the best chance to score. I'm going to do it a little different this week. I'm going to really be heavy on AM and PM waves. So we're going to take a look at our friends at fantasynational.com. We're going to go through. We're going to talk about who we like. May talk about who we don't like. I don't know what you do with that, though. Just because we like them doesn't mean that that's somebody that I'm going to play, depending on what the weather looks like. And I think right now it's projected to be winds are looking like 20-ish mile per hour on average. And I did see on gcsaa.org. So if you ever want to find out anything about the courses that are coming up that they're playing on, it said weather was dry April through June with temperatures slightly colder than average. What I saw this week at the Scottish Open, I mean, I saw some sweaters out, but like today, they were shorts and tank tops and people on the beach. I mean, it looked pretty comfortable out there today. It didn't look like, there a little bit of wind, but nothing crazy. I mean, not what we would typically think from from an Open Championship. So let's run through this thing. So we're going to be at the old course at St. Andrews. Here's a little bit of a discrepancy. I usually trust what the GCSAA has for tournament fact sheets. They're calling this 7,536 yards, and that's obviously tipped out. Everything else that I'm seeing is around 7,300 yards. So I don't know who's got it right or who's got it wrong. Let's meet in the middle and call it 74, I guess, for argument purposes. I guess the key thing to know here is there are 2 par 3s and there are 2 par 5s, and everything else is par 4s. And we probably, and doing this a little different, Dan, I may get into a couple of different reports, models, rankings from our friends over at fantasynational.com. And they've got this thing called a rolling report. So it's looking at last 4, last 8, last 12, all the way through the last 100. And you can kind of go in and take a look at strokes gained. You can take a look at putting. You can take a look at par 4s, 350 to 400, 400 to 450. And I think that's probably, you look at 3-putt avoidance, which I think is going to be key here. Speaking of, I think 3-putt avoidance and approach is probably where I'm kind of hanging my hat and anchoring for lineups for DFS lineups for the Open Championship. So, what else you got, Dan? No. I got to talk. I've got so many notes about it. This may take 30 minutes to go through this thing.
Oh boy.
It may take long, right? You may need another refill. So talking about course comps. And Bobby Jones said, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing. By the way, he's buried a driver away from me. Away. God rest his soul, Bobby Jones, right down the street.
Yep.
But Bobby Jones said, if you haven't won a golf tournament at St. Andrews and you're really not a champion or something like that, I don't know, whatever. And the reason I say that is Augusta National, which Bobby Jones was co-architect, builder, founder, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's a proper term. He kind of built Augusta National in a shadow of St. Andrews. So from the old course, so I'm going to go through. So then, and where I'm going is, I think Augusta National is a course comp for St. Andrews, even though, I don't, but it gets windy down here. I mean, you've been to Augusta.
Well,
It's now Augusta's hilly, but think
Yep.
about the undulating greens. Now they don't have any double greens, but the greens are undulating. You've got the little runoffs around the greens. You've got some big open spaces that you can hit driver or for your fairway shots. You've got if you want to be aggressive and you're feeling it and you want to take risky lines, it definitely is an advantage and plays out well for you. So I'm going to read off a few names. So these are names that have won an Open Championship at St. Andrews, and they've won at Augusta. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Bobby Jones, 1927. Sam Snead, 1946. And these are, when they won the Open Championship, by the way. Seve Ballesteros, 84. Nick Faldo in 90. Louis Oosthuizen in 2010. Who else we got? Jack, 78 and 70. Tiger in 2000 and 2005. And Zach Johnson in 2015. So I definitely didn't read those off in chronological order. I've been drinking, for crying out loud. Give me a break. But those, and not only are there Masters champions and Open champions at St. Andrews, there are multiple Masters champions and Open champions at St. Andrews. So if you're telling me that that's not a course comp, now granted, the golfers that I just read off there you go. But I mean, think about like Zach Johnson compared to Tiger Woods when he won, right? I mean, they light years apart. And think about Jack and think about Faldo. Zach's in a whole different category. Louis, I'd say, is probably closer to kind of Zach than anything. But yeah, I think that I think there's a huge comp for Augusta National and St. Andrews that shouldn't be ignored when you're taking a look. So I don't know. I got a lot of other stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it as we get to the players. So take us away, Danny.
All right, let's get over to Fantasy National. Fun lineup this week, man. A great field. Kicking us off.
Hey, yeah, before we get, I know I just said take it away, but before we do, so and this is probably better. I probably want to hit Tattersall up on this one. Well, I'll ask it both ways. Are you leaning more? Are you like we're gonna favor the Euro guys this week, or are you just going like? Are you just looking at the numbers? Is this, are you Euroing it? Because there's going to be some people that we don't see regularly, right? I don't know. But we'll talk through it as we go through the clips.
I don't know if I have a definitive answer just as a generality there, but I'm probably gonna look at the numbers the most and then back it out from there. But we just talked about it earlier. We saw a lot of guys miss that cut last week. So not looking too good going into this thing, but hey, they can bounce back. Kicking us off, 11,100 Rory, then Scottie, then John, JT, Collin Morikawa, Jordan, just edging us out at the end of the $10,000 range. Where are you starting?
Okay, so the highest owned player is probably going to be, it's either going to be Jordan or Rory, right? I think that I'm probably, I don't know that I'm going to start there. I will start some lineups there, but that's where I'm at. I'm at Jordan, Rory, and I think, I don't know what an each way on those guys to win is, but I think that's pretty good money right there. And I don't know if Jordan really, he didn't want to lose the Scottish Open, but I will assure you that he would much rather win the Open Championship.
Let me ask you a question. After the results at the Scottish Open, Xander wins. let's say that this comes out before then, right? The pricing. Let's say it came out Monday, and he gets into the $10,000 range. Who gets bumped here?
Morikawa, JT, both of those guys.
I think Morikawa gets bumped. Yeah.
I could see that happen.
Okay.
Hold on, I got to look at something here real quick. Maybe he just didn't win it here. Think. Oh yeah, Zach Johnson. So Spieth. Well, okay. So Spieth finished second here last year. So here's a good one for you. So think about this one. So Spieth has gained 54 strokes in the past 5 years that he's played in the Open Championship, and he leads the field. He leads the field in strokes gained. Right. Rory is second at 36 strokes gained. And Rory's finished T5 and T3 in his last 2 starts here.
Yeah.
So I've said it before. I mean, it's no secret. I mean, I've saved Spieth all season for this St. Andrews event. No, not Tiger Woods. Not Tiger Woods. I don't know if Tiger will make it to the weekend, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I mean, I hope he does. It'll be great if he can. I think it probably, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to top 25. I think if he does, he's DFL or pretty close to it. And I think he's taken an opportunity away from somebody else, but yeah, you got to play. You never know. You got to play to find out. But yeah, I see, I'm take me to Spieth Island and put a cocktail in my hand and set me free. Because I don't know how it's not going to happen. Again, I think McIlroy is probably playing some of the best golf that he's played. I think they're 2 different players, right? I think some of the I think a lot of it's going to depend on the weather. I think it's going to depend on the draw. I mean, are they going to be paired together? Are they going to be AMs or PMs? And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm talking about, we are talking about who we like and maybe who we don't like, or who we like less. But I'm not saying that these are going to be, even though we may do a lineup tonight just for shits and giggles, but I don't know that I think you got to look at the weather, and I think you got to make a point of doing that. Here's who I think is, so as you mentioned, Morikawa, and that's probably the guy that gets bumped.
Yeah.
At projected less than 10 single digit ownership, he's probably going to get played. I mean, he is the defending champion, by the way. He's the defending Open champion. He won it Sandwich, like Royal St. George and Sandwich of last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, good at, I guess that's Australia.
Here he goes.
I don't know. Whatever the Scots say.
I'm heavily leaning towards Rory this week. He's my guy. I think he's just playing great golf. He can play this course well, like you said. Scheffler, a little sketchy last week, but I mean, hey, the guy's having a great year. You can never count him out. Same thing with Rahm, not playing great golf lately, and a T12 and a T10. How can you say that, Dan? Well, I just don't like what I've been seeing. I think kind of inconsistent,
I think I think we got to look at the draws, look at where they wind up at. And I think it's one of those where, shit, it may be like, oh, fuck, the wind's going to be, it's raining and it's 35-mile-per-hour winds in the afternoon, and Spieth drew, PM, AM tee time. It's like, okay, I may go, I may start stacking, I may go, Rahm that drew the AM, PM tee time. I don't, that's where I'm kind of going to rely on. But yeah, my 2 again are Spieth and McIlroy.
Damn,
the other ones, take it or leave. I mean,
any of them can win.
No, I mean, you can make an argument to play any of them. I guess the one thing I would say is JT doesn't really have a great track record at the Open. If I can get my screen to go down, I don't think he has a great track record here. Let's see. I mean, just for Open championships in general, right? So T40, T11, missed 2 cuts, T53. Yeah. Morikawa's played in 1, and guess what he did?
Yeah.
So, so, and Spieth's track record, Rory's track record, Scheffler was T8, Rahm, decent. But yeah. All right, let's get to the fun part. So the $9,000 range. I think here's where we start to have a little more fun. And I think where people start to overlook based on or maybe they underlook or overlook Xander Schauffele 20%. So after this weekend, I mean, that thing's just going to go like sky high, right?
He's going to be that. I'll take all of them in this range.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Does that work out? How's the math look on that? How's the math look? Yeah, there's nobody that I'm scared of. I mean, and I think this is chalk that you can eat hard. Like you can go chalk all day on some of these guys. Xander, if it really is only 20%, I mean, okay, I'll probably take it. I mean, because his dad's probably, what do you think he's doing to him right now? What do you think Xander's dad is doing to him right now?
Making him hit golf balls in the range.
You think they're already at St. Andrews, and he's like, you're not eating until we make it through these 17 buckets of balls.
That's right.
And you got to flight it down, kid. Flight it down.
That's right.
Flight it down. Way too high. Flight it down.
That's right. Flight it down. Yep.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he is an Olympic champion.
I mean, he's like, okay, top 3 golfers in the world right now. I think I saw somebody talking about this on Twitter the other day. Xander, give me the other 2.
Rory McIlory. And what you're saying as far as who's hitting the ball the best?
Yeah. Who the top 3 are, right? Who the top 3 hottest guys? Maybe Scheffler. Those are the top 3 guys.
I mean, I would probably throw Spieth in there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but Schauffele at this price point, you got to take it. I mean, especially if the ownership's there. Yeah.
Oh, at $9,900, if the ownership isn't crazy, I mean that's a must. Yeah. Fitzpatrick, yes. Here's what would be great. So Willie Z misses the cut to Scottish Open. He withdrew from the Open at Sandwich last year. And because he was like hacking it out of the fescue or some shit, and he hurt his back, so he's like, I gotta get out.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully that the ownership is low enough that Willie Z starts to, and I mean, if he's below 15%, probably. I think Cam Smith's a fade for me down here. I love you must love that cheeseburger. I love some Patrick Cantlay floating around 10%, man. That is what I thought was gonna. I thought it was gonna be like a turd sandwich at the Scottish Open, and he kind of picked it up. I mean, if the weather gets kind of nasty and he's kind of hacking along, I guess that's the other thing too to consider is if the weather does get nasty, I think my opinion on Cam Smith changes. So if the forecast is like it ain't gonna be that good, then Cam Smith, I mean, look at what happened at Sawgrass, right?
Yeah.
At the Players, right? And that guy's gonna be able to get it around, and that's probably a different outlook for me.
And the only other thing with the Cantlay play, though, I mean, to your point, he played great last week. He loves the fall or going into the fall, late half of the season. But the majors have just been such a struggle for him, though. So that's a little bit of concern there too.
They have. I wouldn't. What do you mean? He missed the cut at the PGA Championship? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. He's
you know who I think is getting ignored a lot, and he missed the cut at the U.S. Open, is the guy that's ranked 12th in the model, and Shane Lowry.
Yeah, 100%. This is his type of course.
Sure, I'm not jumping past. No, we're still at 9,000. Yeah. So, and Shane Lowry won in 2019 because we did not play the Open in 2020. I think I got that right. Right. Yeah, because it was in. Because it was in Ireland. I definitely could be screwing that up, but I'm pretty sure I got that right. So Yeah, I think Shane Lowry is gonna. I mean, he's 17% owned. Okay, so here's where I'm heading with all this conversation about talking about everybody that we've already talked about. DJ, I think you got to play him. I think at 8%, he's got a good track record at the Open. It works. I mean, I think you got to play. And I think that there are not a lot of, I don't know, we may have talked a little bit about Liv, but I don't think we've talked a lot about Liv as it relates to the Liv players. And I think just organically, I think you've got people that are bettors, that are doing research, that are looking at fantasynational.com, that are reading through, and they're going, or they're listening to multiple shows, and they're kind of getting their bearings, and they're, okay, here's where I want to be. I think to not play DJ at single digit ownership is a horrible, horrible, horrible decision, because DJ is going to show up and DJ is going to play well. DJ's had about 2 weeks off, so he's had a little time to dry out after that, whatever bender he got on like last week. So I think we're in good shape here, man. Well, I'm liking some DJ. I'm liking him at St. Andrews. I think this is green light, go DJ at the end.
And this is where the Live PGA Tour thing really comes into play, because if he's leading on Saturday, he just takes the claret jug and goes home. He doesn't have to pay. He doesn't have to play that fourth day.
54 holes. 54 holes, baby. You can just check right out. Moving on.
I think you're right. I think you're right. That ownership's too low not to take him, for sure.
Yeah. So here's another guy. I think he missed the cut at the Scottish show. He was at the Hideki played, right? He missed the cut at the Scottish.
Did he? I think he was there. Yeah. I don't know if he missed the cut. I don't know. Let me take a look.
I didn't see him there, but or I didn't see him in the final. I think he missed the cut. I'm pretty sure. So I think that's another one that's going to be hold on. Let's see. What's Hideki?
Yeah, did 73, 74. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, he's out. So what's Decky look like here? Let's see. Where are you, Decky? All right. So he was fourth at the US Open. He got disqualified at the Memorial for I don't know. He had some kind of weird sleeve over his some kind of thing.
Sticker on the face of his driver or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a club condom or something he had on there. I don't know what it was. Something awkward. Yeah. Let's see. Where is the tournament history there? That's what I really want to see. Okay, here we go. Where's Decky at? Tournament history. Missed the cut in 19, missed the cut in 18, T14 in 2017. Whew. Okay, so he really didn't play well at the Open. So maybe, all right, scratch that. False alarm.
I'm not quite sure how healthy he is, man. With that DQ, well, like the DQ is a disqualification. Never mind. But I don't know. Something's a little off here.
I'm off on Javi too.
I'm off on Javi. Yeah,
I mean, the around the green game is so bad, and I think you're going to need to be. That's going to be a thing. If the weather gets rough, it's even going to be more of a thing. I'm off on Javi. So give me DJ and I don't know
Lowry
who else is up there. Yeah, give me DJ. Yeah, I mean at the top end for sure. I mean Xander, Fitzy, Willie Z,
Cameron,
Lowry, and DJ. You like Cameron. I like Cameron if the weather's really shitty. If the weather ain't that bad, I don't know. I don't know. I got to go DJ for sure. And Cantlay. DJ and Cantlay. That's probably my two guys. I'm probably going DJ and Cantlay. That's my heavy. That's my heavy. That's my hot down here. Hot.
Man, a lot of good players here.
Hot.
A lot of good players.
Oh no! Wait till we get to the $8,000 range.
I know.
Oh, this is. I mean, I hope you brought like 2 bottles of liquor, because we're gonna have to talk for hours about this stuff. Okay, Sam Burns. He was in the spreadsheet, but that was not my official pick. I'm glad I didn't. Do that.
Glad you didn't too.
He had a decent showing. I mean, it wasn't horrible. And I'm not off on Sam Burns this week at 10% until I look just below him and I see Louis O at below 10%. Louis O has won an Open championship here. He's been a runner-up here before at an Open Championship. Like Louis Odomy, another live guy. I do honestly think you could build a live tour lineup, and I think you could get all 6 of the weekend and make a little hay. So Louis O, yes. Terrell Hatton, I liked what I saw. Fleetwood, okay.
Yes, on Fleetwood. Yes, on
Tony Fleetwood all day long, baby. I mean, the fairway Jesus is. He's reading the gospel right now, and what are you gonna do? Okay, 4% owned BK, 4% owned BK. I mean, how do you? What? Just hold on just a second. Hold on. I gotta read this off. I gotta read it off because it's so since 2016 at the Open Championship, and questionably, I mean, he has not been that healthy during these past few. Like 21 T6, T4, T39, and T6. Are you telling me that, I mean, at this price, at 5% ownership, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. You know he does. You know he's got a chip on his shoulder. And he absolutely would love to win this golf tournament as the one of the newer members of the LIV.
He has
golf
not
tournament.
Played much this year, has he? At all?
No.
Look at the last five. U.S. Open, PGA, Masters, House Park players.
Look at the last 3. Now, granted, I think he did play a LIV tournament a couple of weeks ago, but outside of that, he hadn't played shit other than the majors.
Anything this year? Yeah,
he's
just
done,
the
dude.
majors.
He's done.
Wow. Yeah, you got to play him. In fantasy,
four-time major winner.
Yeah,
4-time major winner.
Yeah.
And he's played good at these. I mean, this may be linksier than what we've seen since 2016, but it's still Lynx-esque. And I think I think he's a go with that ownership. I think it's go all day. The next 2 guys, even though Tony Finau ranks out second in this model, I don't know. The only thing that's attractive, well, there are multiple things, and this actually could be a place where Tony gets it done. I could see that happening, but I'm probably off on Sungjae and Tony this week.
Yeah, I am too.
Even though Finau T15 third, T9, T27, T18. But I don't know. I'm probably just going Koepka after that, because I Koepka is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to have something to prove. Tony's going to be out there doing whatever Tony does, and I don't know. I'm looking at a different direction.
Agreed.
So I'm off on Sungjae. I don't know.
I'm off on Bryson.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't even. I'm just going to be off on him just out of principle. Neiman, I could probably get behind here if need be. So I'm okay there. I think I saw Berger with. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, so you must plays here on the $8,000 range. You've got you said Louis and Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood, Brooksy.
Yeah. So I know it's, crazy as shit, but my must, I think it's going to be Louis and Brooks. And I think it's like total ownership and history. If I'm just definitely against that, I'm going in another direction. To your point, I'm probably going Hatton and Fleetwood.
Yeah. I like Fleetwood. Yep. I like Fleetwood a lot here.
Yeah. And I could see that being a thing. All right, $7,000 range. I think Berger, the last I saw, he was out. Thought I read something about a back injury and he's gone. So pay no attention to Berger, which thank you, because I wasn't going to play him anyway, but it's just somebody else to consider, to being like, oh shit, we finished T8 last year in the Open. I mean, do I have to consider him? Homa had a pretty good showing, so maybe.
Yeah, he's in for me.
Okay, I'm out on Cam Young. So this is going to be Cam Young's first Open Championship. He did not fare very well at the Scottish Open. And I think this is going to get even more linksier than we just saw at the Renaissance Club. I mean, it's like the Renaissance Club, people. I don't know. It ain't Renee. It's the Renaissance Club. Renaissance. Okay. The Renaissance Club. I was not impressed. Cam Young, I had way too much of him in my life over this past tournament. And I'm moving on. Bobby Mack, however, I had too much of him in my lineup too. He didn't make it either. I think he was the Scotch favorite to finish out over there, and he didn't make the weekend. But his last two Open Championships, T8 and T6, I'm hoping at $7,800. He's not too. People are not too heavily. Oh yeah, at 8%. I'm going boom, boom, boom. Kind of like what's that guy, John Lee Hooker?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm going Bobby Mack, Adam Scott, and Leishman, baby. Adam Scott, secretly enough. Remember when I was talking earlier about what I think is a good comp is Augusta National. Well, guess what Adam has?
Yeah.
Other than this, like this creepy guy with a crush on him. Guess what else he has?
Right. That's a good point.
He's got a green jacket.
Yep.
T46 missed the cut. T17, T22, T43, and that's at his open experiences. I mean, Adam's got a pretty good track record over here, and I heard he showed up early to St. Andrews. I think he may have even beat Tiger Woods there. And what if he's got Stevie on the bag? I don't know who he's going to have on the bag, but what if because I think Stevie was there for both of Tiger's wins at St. Andrews. So if he's called Stevie back in, I mean, this could be a thing, man.
Good point.
Yeah. And I think I'm also going to go Leishman. He missed the last two cuts here, but I don't know what's Leishman look like. He didn't play this weekend that I saw. Missed the cut at Travelers, T14 cut, T34, T51, 4%. All right. I'll spend some other. Yeah, I'll scratch Leishman and spread it around. I don't know if I need any Weber here. Well, here's the one we got to talk about. I mean, he ranks 87th in the model. What are you doing?
Nope. Can't do it.
I don't. Unless he's going to unless he's funding the show or funding my my betting pool, I ain't no Tiger Woods going in my action.
Haven't seen. We've seen him now a couple of times, right, this year, and we want nothing but the best for him. But it's been painful, right?
We saw him 2.5 times.
Yeah,
we saw him, and the one thing that we did see, we saw him make the cut both times. One time of which he was able to finish the tournament. I think he was DFL.
Yeah.
The second time made it to the weekend, and then he withdrew.
Yeah.
And I ranted a little bit about that when that happened. It's like, dude, and I get it. You're an athlete. It's an injury. I don't think that we can really look at it now to say, oh, well, I mean, you don't, I mean, he's been through this horrific accident. No, it's like, well, if you're not ready, don't show up.
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't mean that I mean, look at Willie Z. He withdrew last year, but he withdrew. I don't think that took anything away from anybody. I think he was out early on. Look at Javi. You get a little sand in your eye. You're like, hey, man, I'm out. So, I mean, the thing is, like, if you, and I know you don't know until you know, but you should know. You should have a pretty good idea whether you're going to be able to compete. I'm getting old too. I mean, there's days that I don't feel the best. Now, I'm not really a professional at anything, actually, but I feel like I can drink pretty good sometimes, depending on how much it is. So, yeah, I'm out too. I'm all over some P. Reed this week. Yeah. I think this is I think Kez and I we traded a message or two. No insider information. We were actually talking about liquor, but yeah, they're looking forward to this and excited about it. So I like some P. Reed. I like the creativity. I like the around the green. I would like to say that he's got a chip on his shoulder and something to prove, but I mean, that guy is the deck has been stacked against him for so long. I mean, it's just,
he's always got one.
I don't even think it's a chip anymore. I think it's just life. So I don't think he's going to give a shit. I don't know. Who do you like? Who do you like?
Well, you don't have circled here as Horschel. I thought Horschel's been doing pretty well. Won the Memorial, missed the cut of the U.S. Open. Model ranked 19th, $7,500. Projected ownership 6%. Shots gained total 21. Off the tee 22nd. Approach 30th. Around the green 12th. Putting 20th. What don't you like about him? Is it past history here?
Did he miss the? I think he missed the cut this week at the
He
Scott,
did.
which I said
He did.
yeah, and I said that I don't know that that's really a go or a no go. So last year was T53 in the Open. He missed his previous 3 cuts.
So just doesn't play well here, huh?
You
Over
know,
there.
yeah. I think so. There's a few things. I think that there's been a lot of, and I don't know why he's on a pedal. I don't know if he's been asked to do this or if he's just taking it upon himself to do it and be outspoken. This is the first time, really, since this thing has happened, that everybody. I mean, since it's gotten more escalated, right?
Yeah.
We're as escalated as we've been, and people have said things. I get there's a lot of type A's out there, but I don't know how that's going to fare for Billy Ho because guess what? Dustin Johnson doesn't give a fuck. He don't care. I mean, anything that you said that was directed and pointed towards him, and I'm not saying that he said anything towards him. I think he was making generalized statements. That dude, he had no idea. No idea. Phil Mickelson, I mean, that dude's his narcissism that's developed. I mean, he probably took it as a positive.
Well, think about
what he said was like a good thing.
Well, think about this. Now that Phil's not on the PGA Tour anymore, he can actually bet on the PGA Tour.
I don't know if that's good or bad. we need to find out who Phil's betting on.
We should ask him if he wants to join the show.
We should ask him if he wants to. We got this little betting thing we talk about from time to time. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm out on Billy Ho. You can be in on him. Seamus Power, maybe. I mean, I think he should play well here. I mentioned Reed. Poston, if I want to go a little contrarian, I mean, that's probably not a lot of ownership there. Taylor Gooch, Mito. That's probably a direction that I'm kind of going to head down. I would think.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any other let me see. Let me see. I made some notes about. Yeah. I
missed the cut last week. I know he did.
Yeah. But again, I don't know how much stock I'm really putting into that whole.
Well, here's Keegan's stats, right? So model ranked 20th, $7,200, 9.4% projected ownership. Shots gained total 8th, off the tee 31st, on approach 27, around the green 40th, putting 12th, T19 Travelers, T7 US Open, T37 Memorial, T48 PGA Championship, T2 Wells Fargo. He's playing great golf this year. He's playing really good golf this year. I think he can play well there. Again, I don't like last week, but hey, they just got over there, getting acquainted. Probably want to play with Tiger.
Definitely want to play with Tiger. Yeah, I'm not putting, if they miss the cut, I'm not really too concerned about it. If they made the cut and played well and they weren't somebody that was already on the radar, then maybe I'm having a look see.
How does he look from past tournaments here? Do you know, Keegan?
Of course I know, Dan. I mean, Fantasy National tells me all this stuff.
I know.
So he missed the past 2 cuts, 79 in 2018 and T18 in 2016. So,
okay,
could be better. Could be better. Hold on. Let me stay. I'm going to go to the end of the $7,000 range. Not the end, but I'm going to the $7,000 number. If you didn't hear me earlier, Dan, I think that there's a lot of course comps. I think there's a comparison. I think there's a connection between St. Andrews and Augusta National. Danny Willett, T33 last year. This is for the Open. T6, T24, 76, T53. Recent form, it could be better. But when you start looking at 3-putt avoidance, when you start looking at strokes gained tee to green in the rolling model, like Danny Willett starts to look pretty good. And at $7,000, and Danny Willett's going to be owned single digit, around 5-6%. Like that's a guy that I'm probably going to. So I definitely like some Danny Willett down here. A lot of miscuts, But oh, and by the way, he actually won the Alfred Dunhill last year at St. Andrews. Now, I think there are 4 courses at St. Andrews. We're playing this one on the old course. So you play the 3 courses for the Alfred Dunhill. And then if you make it, then you play, I think that's right. Then you play the 4, or maybe there's 2 courses and you play. No, I think there's 3 and then you play the 4. Anyway, you wind up playing the old course twice. So if you make it through the Alfred Dunhill Championship, you've already played the old course, but then the championship round is on the old course as well. He won it in 2021.
Yeah.
So I think Danny Willett's at that again, ownership. I'm trying to go a little contrarian here, and Danny Willett's he's a guy that I'm kind of looking at. Ian Poulter's interesting too at 1%.
Hold on. What about the sauce man?
I think I like the sauce man. I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
I think the sauce man's won an Open, and he's 2.2%. He's won an Open within the last 4 years, and he's 2.2% protected ownership.
Yeah, and he didn't. He made the cut this week, I thought. So I'm not against him whatsoever. Not against the sauce man. I think that's a safe play.
And I think hey, Augusta National, he was right in the running.
Oh no, I'm with you, man. I'm totally there with you on Francesco. Let me see if I can find him real quick and see. I swear I thought he made the there were 2 Molinaris there. That one's not good. That's a miscut right there.
He missed a cut last week.
Well, no, one of the Molinaris did, but I haven't found Francesco yet. Who Danny Willett missed a cut last week at +10. But Francesco did too. Yeah. Okay. So you can pretty much just can everything we said.
No.
I'm totally I'm in on I think I'm in on Francesco. I think and I'm in on Danny Willett too, man. I think that's a good play there. If you need to get down to the $7,000 mark, I think it's
yeah. All right.
6,000. I don't need to get too deep in the $6,000 range. Down there's probably 2 or 3 or 12 guys that I want to talk about. So my first guy, I think you've already scrolled past him. Is probably one of the more expensive guys. In Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, 7.5% ownership. Had a pretty good showing at the Scottish. And I think he shot a 66 on Sunday. And T6 at the Travelers, T7 RBC Canadian at $6,900. I don't want to go out on a limb and say this may be best value, but I may go ahead and go there. I think this is going to be probably like a T5, T10, T20 bet for me that I'll go all the way around. I don't know that I'll bet him outright to win. It just probably other people I'll do that. Just below him, I mean, a lot of cuts, but I mean, if you think back to where did they play at in South Carolina for the PGA that Phil won? I don't know, man. I probably gotta go throw a little Kiz around here, man. I think that this is could be his thing. So Keith Mitchell, he's missed the past 2 cuts at the past 2 Opens. Kiz is 73, T30, T2, T54, and 76. Again, I'll roll it on Mitchell. He's playing pretty good and fared okay, good enough at the Scottish. And Kiz, he just seemed. I mean, it's a link style course where you can kind of get out there and get after it and grind and make it happen. So,
yep, that's good, man.
Anybody else? So okay, so there. You have anybody? Or you want me to call a couple more and then you can go?
You can call a couple more. I think I'm good here.
All right. So Mac Hughes, I think this is go time for Mackenzie Hughes. I like him probably at a T20. I don't know what the number is, and I really don't want to go look at this point. I just want to drink and talk about it. So finished T6 last year. So I think we're good enough that if I need to get down into the $6,000 range, Mac Hughes is probably a pretty good play. And
he's in good form.
Yeah, and it, I mean, gets around good enough link style. Emiliano Grillo's another guy that I might throw a little love around at 6,700. So T12 last year, he's missed some cuts, and then T bookends it with a T12 in 2016. So that's a maybe for me if I need to get down here. And hold on here. Hold on. Huson Yuk said I had to talk about this Korean fella. KH Lee. Maybe KH Lee. And you know who I don't see in here yet is Kurt Kitayama.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Yeah.
I guess maybe, I don't know. See it. I don't see him anywhere.
Not yet.
So I mean, I expect he's got to get added, right? So I don't know where he's going to get added at, but
let's see if he's in DraftKings.
But Kurt Kitty, he probably, yeah. So he hadn't been on national. He's probably just been added to DraftKings. But yeah, Kitayama's probably. I mean, if he's inexpensive, then I think so. Yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna go.
He's not in your
down
DraftKings yet either.
No, he's not in. All right. Well, that's a good one, right? So think about how many people are going to create lineups, and they're not going to be. I mean, they ain't going to go back and relook at them. So probably low ownership.
Yep.
Just fared really well at the Renaissance Club. So I mean that could be a thing to just to be aware of. A couple of call outs down here. What do you do, Padraig Harrington? Do anything with him?
Yeah, of course. Sprinkle some in there, right? Sprinkle some in. What do you think?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go there or not. Maybe, I don't. Yeah, he's there. What about our boy? What about? Well, it's not our boy. He's a guy, but let's see. Phil Mickelson. Listen to this shit. Phil Mickelson. I don't know. This is on their website. Allegedly, Phil Mickelson was the last professional golfer to win the Scottish Open and follow it up with an Open Championship. That was not at St. Andrews, but allegedly he's the last golfer to do that. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I hear he's got his wallet's thick is what I hear. It's like, is that your wallet, or are you just happy to see me? And he's like, no, trust me, it's my wallet.
You want to do one? You want to do a lineup?
We should. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Do you want to do one done? You want to do one of them with John, or do you want to do it tonight?
We can do ours tonight. We can just
right,
and then we can repick with him.
Okay.
We can repick with him.
All right.
I mean, we can do a side bet for another one and done. Okay. You can mark because because he's got everybody. He hadn't been picking. So
okay. All right.
Okay. Hold on. Let's get over here to my friends. Oh, look at that. My screens are green, baby. My screens are green on DraftKings.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It looks good. Looks really good.
Where you want to start with, Reed?
I'm more than happy to start there if that's where you'd like to start.
All right, he's locked in.
I mean, don't you think this is the kind of place he's going to be able to get around?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now DJ.
All right. That's good. All right, DJ. Homa? No.
No, I'm okay with Homa, but and I know there's a little bit of price difference here, but and we may be able to do both, but let me just throw this out. Let me throw it
Mhm.
out as just for conversation's sake.
Mhm.
Homa or the other Tony?
You want to go? We can go Finau. He's been playing
No, no,
great.
no, 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 no. The other Tony,
Oh, you want to go
Tony Fleetwood,
Tony Fleetwood? How much is Tony Fleetwood?
8,600.
Okay. All right, let's go Tony Fleetwood. Tony Fleetwood.
All right. So we've got 8,300 left on average. Okay. So we could, I'm good to go Homa if you want to go Homa.
All right, let's go Homa. Yeah, I think he's been playing great.
Now, well, you go ahead because I want you to pick the last guy because we're gonna have some money left. Because
Okay.
I want to pick a guy at 77. Well, unless you talk me out of it.
All right.
I want to throw another shrimp on the bobby.
Oh boy.
You know I do.
Okay, let's do it.
I think it could be a thing, man.
Adam
I
Scott.
think, yeah, I think
Okay.
it's a thing. Oh, look at this. Look at who is sitting there at $9,300.
Victor Hovland.
I don't see Victor. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. What screen are you looking at over there?
Nah, Shane Lowry, huh?
That's
Yeah,
what,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, okay, now hold. I don't want any bitching about this. So I want you to look at this and take it in. So tisk. We got Fleetwood, Homa, DJ, Lowry, Reed, Scott. Now we have no idea, mind you, that I mean, these guys could be like facing gale force winds, piss pouring rain. They could be like 2:30 a.m. tee times and extremely hungover. DJ probably will be. I mean, it could be rough. It could be extremely rough. But I'm good with this. Are you good with this?
I'm good with it.
I mean, like half of the lineup is Live Tour people. The only person I'm good. I'm submitting. The only one I'll just have to dust him around elsewhere. I was in a single entry lineup there, but I got to put some. I got to get some more Louis in my life. I'm feeling like Louis is gonna, like, if he's healthy, and he should be, unless like the tractor run over his foot or something. I mean, I don't think he's been playing a lot of golf. So,
All right, one and done.
well, by all means, sir, you need all the help you can get.
I'm actually leading by like a little bit still, a little bit still.
$27.32.
Yeah, like 20. Yeah, you have really caught up though. That is good. So Cal's won 2 in a row, which is unheard of, and I won the one before that. So I'm gonna go with Zach.
JT Poston and the X-Man, by the way, in case somebody wasn't listening to previous shows wondering who we picked.
Yeah, I picked Xander. You pick JT Poston, and then you pick Xander, and then this week I'm gonna pick Xander.
You should. Are you picking Xander?
No, give me Roars. I'll take Roars, man. I think the man's on fire.
You're not going to go Xander. Do you have Xander available?
No, I won with Xander before you won with JT Poston.
Okay. Oh yeah, you won at the Travelers with him, right?
Yeah,
I got you. So I think that's solid. I think Rory McIlory. I think he is playing. He's playing as good of golf as we've seen him play in a long time.
Yeah.
I think that I think there was a little bit of spark that had left Rory for a little while there. And this whole Live Tour thing, the WWG, the World Wide Golf Association that it's turning into, I think it's kind of given him a little bit of a spark.
I do too.
And I think that he no longer sees himself, and I'm not saying that this is what he thought. The rest of the world probably thought it, but I think that he has now found a seat that has been previously held. And I'm not saying that he's passed it down yet, but I think he's found a spot that has been previously held by Tiger Woods.
Yes.
And I think Rory has kind of, I don't know if it was force fed or if he just felt like it was, the right thing to do. He hasn't spoken about that, but that would be my question for him. If I ever got a chance to ask him a question is, and he wouldn't be able to answer. So I'd have to think about how I framed it up, but it would be like all the shit that's going on, with the live and, the outspokenness, like, are you doing this just solely on your behalf, or are you doing it speaking for the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
Would be in some way. That would be my question. It's what I would want to get to. And he probably wouldn't answer directly. And it would be some kind of, well, I don't know why the hell we're talking about this shit, man. I'm here to play golf with you. He wouldn't say that, but Koepka would.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think it's a good pick. And I think, and he's got a good track record at the Opens. And I think it would be another arrow in the, it'd be another dagger in the heart of Live Tour to see the guy that's been, that kind of backtracked a little bit on a statement or two.
And a little bit more separation between him and JT. JT just won the PGA, right? So we're always, he's only a couple behind, so I got to get another one so I can be that guy. If he's going to pass me, then Tiger's going to like him even more.
Like, when do I get the invitation to go play with Tiger Woods on a Monday morning?
Well, actually, exactly. They did play together, but we all know who Tiger's big best buddy is. So yeah.
Well, what do you do out there? It's like, well, we go swimming and we throw beads at people.
we hit birdies.
We hit birdies. We drink a little bourbon after the round. We do things. We got a little pad over there.
That's right.
we got to start doing more Jeff.
More Jeff.
What we need is more Jeff on the show. I'm gonna see if I can't get one of those to anoint the bar with. All right, I gotta do my one and done. Send me to Spieth Island, baby. Give me the tickets. Send me to Spieth Island. I've held that fucker for this long. I actually did think, I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, well, do I want to, and I'm like, nope. You know what? I held it. And I was holding Xander, and I rolled the dice, and I'm like, this is going to be one of those where he's probably going to miss.
And he wins.
And then anyway, so so I don't know. Give me send me to Spieth Island, and I'm looking forward to more coffee golf, man. I can't get enough of this stuff. It is, I love it.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like we live on the West Coast.
It's even exactly. It'd be even better. I'd never have to go to sleep. No, it would be it'd be one of those things to where I can watch a little golf. I can watch it most of the day. Then I can flip the old man on. I can watch a little Bad Blake. In a gunfight. It doesn't get much better.
Absolutely.
It doesn't get much better.
All right. So this week we got coming up, Cal.
So the one and only PGA golf instructor extraordinaire, John Tattersall. He'll be joining us this week. I know what day he's joining us. I don't know when we're going to release that. It'll depend on. I think it'll be on Tuesday. I think Tuesday. I'm not in charge of responsible things like that. You see, so check in. Tattersall, he'll have some cool pairings for us, I'm sure. Hopefully they'll be out by then. I think they should be. I mean, the DraftKings shit's been out for a while. We were only waiting on 3 people other than a couple withdrawals. So that should be out. And we've got fitting. We're playing golf in Scotland, but we're going to talk about a little Irish whiskey, Slanty. So we're going to be, we chatted, had a great time catching up with our buds over at Clonakilty Irish Whiskey. And if you haven't tried it, I'd say you should. If you're drinking JMO or something like that, if you're drinking Irish whiskey, you should get your hands on some Clonakilty. The port finish was if you don't drink Irish whiskey, the port finish is a good entry gateway into Irish whiskey. I really like that Catoctin Creek bottle that we the Catoctin Creek barrel finish. I thought that was that rye spice on that thing kind of it did something to the Irish whiskey that what do I always say? Irish whiskey makes me frisky. A little frisky on the show. So that should be dropping on Thursday. Hey, it'll be a good backdrop to the Open Championship. Put it on. Pour yourself a glass of Irish whiskey and have at it.
There you go.
By the way, if you're not following us on social media, you should be. That's at birdies_bourbon. If you haven't liked the show, you should like the show. If you're not following the show, you should follow the show. We'll be heading to Sweetens Cove on July the 30th. Fingers crossed. Mossy, we got the lodging taken care of, bud. You'll be in good shape. I don't know if I trust the people that we're staying with. I trust them. I don't know if you can. So I always bring a guest. The way it's not squirrely. They're with us, so that should be a good time. And working on a Pinehurst trip. So Hunter, hope the brewed liquor, the samples are going down well. If we can't make it up in enough time to get through those bottles or those samples, let's just jump on here and do it. We'll come. We've got more liquor, clearly. This doesn't even begin this. I mean, we got a whole thing over here of liquor that we can never drink. So we'd love to get up, but we'd also love to have you on the show and do some sampling and talk about what's new. When's Pinehurst Brewing Company gonna start releasing some barrel aged beer?
Mm-hmm. Good call out.
Broad Branch Distilling just down the way. We may know I got to get you some barrels up there. So looking forward to it. Should be a good week. And Dan, anything else?
That's it, man. Looking forward to it. We'll be back with John. There we go.